All right, hey y'all. A second video and a couple of updates. So I started a Twitter at Joe underscore Weggin. That's Joe underscore Wegggen. And I've released my first video, but of course, if you've seen this one, then it's the only other one. Um, I don't expect either my Twitter or my YouTube to get much traction or views for a long while, months or even years. But it's not really meant for the views. It's more meant for um, a personal record for myself. And then if anyone wanted to join or go back and see it, then it's there. Quick review of my last video. I counted 19 errors of me saying either or having to repeat a word, and that's just something I think if I slow down, it'll get better. Uh, I just did it a couple times there. I really need to work on my sentence and speech structure. I think where I've placed some things as well as how I specifically said sentences could be a little tighter, and I really think that first runs always be tough, and I just need to rehearse it a little more thoroughly and maybe speak a little slower. I'm also trying a new voice, a little deeper maybe. I'm not sure how it comes across to the camera, but it's something that I'm trying out. And of course, if you notice partway through the video, I did move the camera, which is really just my webcam. It should have been centered the entire time. Taking a different part, the other thing I wanted to talk about are some of my processes for learning and some of my ideas. Like I mentioned before, there's a whole world of knowledge out there on the internet to figure out really anything, but also the internet, books, groups, organizations. You've got things like Slack, Discord, Twitter, all these different places you can go, Reddit, that just have large groups of people to talk to, as well as other smaller organizations or big organizations that have smaller clubs like Toastmasters or Meetup or anything that can connect a lot of people together. I really think that that's part of what gives anyone an opportunity to go learn whatever skill that they want. But right now, as I dip my toe in the water, I'm soaking up the free content that's out there. I don't know how much I want to put into this yet, so I don't want to put in tons of money and stuff right away. But eventually, I will want to get into that. But for right now, there's plenty of free content for me to use and soak up, so that's where a lot of my time is now. There's a lot of really good content out there, and I know in later videos and stuff, I'll give tweets and shout outs to those that I really find are exceptional or next level or different thoughts that I had never thought of. But through that process, while I listen to them, even if it's just a podcast, I take notes in a notebook that's just got already pages and pages of just notes from what I'm hearing, ideas that come up that they talk about, ideas that I have, and then I, from time to time, take my notebook and basically transcribe that information over into my OneNote on my computer, so I can pretty much kind of like sticky note and move those things without too much of an issue, and it just saves all of that information in a very streamlined process. So I have a couple of different tabs. The first tab I have is just for ideas and concepts. I think perception is reality. How can that apply to leadership? And I write down some stuff in my notebook, and then I take it over and I just add it. And so eventually, as I continue to have these ideas, it will really build out other stuff like funny stories about when I was in Sea Cadets, um, or like my thoughts on being a servant leader. So just any of those I put in the notebook, and then they can just kind of compile and really grow a list there. And I can go back and review. I also have a tab for notes, so the notes I do when I'm listening to these things, but then it's divided up. Oh, these are notes about how to present. These are notes about writing a speech, like what's the best way, how to get the best ideas, or notes on topics that I'm interested in. And then the last one is actually notes for script, or like a tab for scripts. So I have a page for this video I'm reading now, or I'll have a page for other videos, other other ideas, and I can build that out and again move those around pretty easily, highlight all the wonderful things that technology allows us to do. uh, I am finding it was an easier way for me to review and organize my thoughts by doing this. It lets me go back, forces me to go back and do it while it lets me learn. And I find a lot of my thoughts are redundant. So we'll see where that process goes and how much information I get out of it as my, like, I guess, learning pools kind of dry up. And I start to go from pure learning to refining and learning lessons. So we'll see where that goes. The last thought that that came up today, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, is how many times I use the filler phrases. I was having a conversation with a coworker of mine, and in the span of about 15 seconds, I used the word like. And it wasn't slow. I didn't go, it was like this thing that, like, I did. It was a very quick conversation. Like, when I was speaking, I would, like, say things very quickly and slide in like that, for example. And I hate it when other people do it. I hate it when speakers do it. In fact, when they start to use the same phrase over and over again, I get distracted and I start counting how many times they use that phrase. And so obviously it takes away from that point. What I'm trying to do, hopefully it comes across in the video, and it actually created an awkward moment there when I realized it with my coworker. I like really slowed down on my speaking. And it gives me time to pause and think while also letting what I have sit, but it definitely got awkward because my coworker noticed, but we didn't say anything about it. I know I'm still bouncing around here on different ideas, topics I want to talk about, process ideas. I'm still figuring out how and what I want to make my videos on. Maybe one day I'll have a video that's about, oh, how has my process been going this week? And then a different video that goes on, like, practice, impromptu kind of talking or speech, write a quick speech and then try giving that out. So we'll see where the balls land and what structures and themes I end up settling on. Other than that, though, everyone, this will be my last video for the week. And I'll be out on vacation for the next couple. It's already my 5-year anniversary with my girlfriend since we started going out together, and my next video will come out in a bit. I may queue up one, actually. But other than that, have a great week, have a great weekend, and find that journey.